What's up, internet? Today we're shooting some film, and it's medium format Phoenix 200 sent by the awesome team over at Harman Technologies. So my name is Josh, and for the past 5 years I've traveled the country on motorcycles producing motorcycle content for a well-known channel, and maybe in the past two and a half years I've dove into film. So Harman was nice enough to send over a couple rolls of Phoenix 200 in medium format, and I was sitting on a couple rolls of Phoenix 200 in 35. So we're gonna go out, shoot these two side by side with two manual cameras using the same settings to compare how it exposes and how everything renders. We're gonna send them off to the same lab. It's gonna be a good time. So mind you, it's my first YouTube video. Just gonna have some fun. Don't really plan on putting out a ton weekly like the regular channel, but we'll be having some fun, trying some new things and shooting a bunch of film. So we're gonna go meet up with my buddy Mike. We're gonna ride the bikes out to Malibu, fire off a couple rolls, see what happens. So as things would go, I forgot a camera battery for the Sony. So we're filming this thing on an action camera. So got my buddy Mike, he brought some cameras. What'd you bring today?
Hasselblad 500 cm, Leica MP, and a Leica M11.
All right, like I said before, we're gonna set up some identical shots on both the 35mm Phoenix 200 as well as the medium format. We're gonna shoot the medium format out of the Hasselblad, said 500C?
500 cm.
500 cm, and the 35mm out of the MP. I have no plans whatsoever for the format of this video because we're just winging it, but damn boy.
Let's shoot some film.
Look at that, let's shoot some film. Something about this, the latitude between the shadows and the highlights is pretty severe. So if the highlights are exposed correctly, the shadows are just completely blacked out, at least on the 35. So we'll see what happens on the medium format. Let's give some people a lesson. How are we doing this?
Hopes and prayers.
Some of these are pre-production rolls, so they might be labeled differently, but it is Phoenix. What's the story with that camera?
It was my father's, who handed it to me before he passed, but he used to shoot weddings, so I was his gopher that would go load film, run it in, 12 shots at a time.
Nice.
It's basically been with me my entire life, this camera.
Load that sucker in. Bada bing, bada boom.
Wait, but that sound. Focus again.
So we're doing our best to use somewhat equivalent focal lengths. So we got a 50 on the 35mm on the Leica, 85 on the Hasselblad, so similar field of view to 42 something millimeters if you're cropped in. Of course, that's shooting a square. This is shooting a 3x2. Look at that yellow Phoenix. Uses that. My favorite roll of film that I ever shot was on my trusty Olympus OM10, and I didn't load it correctly, so I never got the exposures back, and I will remember every shutter click that I never got to see. So we're starting off with the MP. We metered them both. We used the external meter and we used the meter in here. 1/250 f8. We're gonna aim for that tree over there, see how it goes. That sound, dude. Oh. It's fun. So pick number one here, looking pretty dang close. The shadows in the 120 have a little more red to them. Looks like a little bit more contrast, but that could also be the lens. A little more detail in the shadow, a little less drop off in the highlights. Either way, pretty cool. We're gonna do f8 and 60th, see how it turns out. So this one's pretty interesting. The 35 is super contrasty, super saturated. The 120 looks like it was shot by a third grader, a little light in through the top. I personally dig the look. It's one of my favorites from the roll, but either way, I like them both. So metering for the shadows on the fairing, we're looking at 5/6 and 125th. So this one is a really good example as to why 120 really shines, medium format in general. Pretty good highlight roll off there. Still got plenty of detail in the shadows, but the highlights still retain way more information than that of the 35. 35 still looks pretty cool. Also has a cooler temperature, whereas the 120 overall seems to be a bit warmer. 120 takes the cake on this one. So these are all pretty interesting. Some of the medium format shots are cooler, whereas some of the 35mm shots are cooler. Could be scanning, lab, film. If you know better than I do, let me know in the comments. So spot number 2, I'm already starting to understand why people don't do YouTube channels. This is like a little more work, and it's not your job. But over here on a little outlook, see how it goes. So with these final few shots, it really just comes down to, color temperature, white balance, low light performance. The 35 degraded quite a bit in some of the night sky shots, whereas the medium format did a lot better. The medium format definitely came out warmer in this set, so I think I need to test a little more. So back home in the garage, had a blast shooting some medium format 35mm as well. It's just fun trying out new things, and that's kind of the whole point of this channel. Trying different creative things, experimenting with different formats, shooting a bunch of film, having fun, riding motorcycles. So to all 9 of you that tuned in, I appreciate you. Let me know what you think down below. I'm not going to do the whole subscribe because I don't know when the next video is going to be, but yeah, that's it.